many years ago, a long time ago, I worked on a little product called Google Keep, which is now on every Android phone in the world, right? It has billions of users. But we were working with a reasonably difficult to work with team, and we found that the stuff we were working on got taken away from us, right? We were building a prototype and people were like, oh no, we're going to just take that. The Americans swooped in and said, this is us, this is ours now. I remember building a couple of prototype Android apps, showing up a few really key themes that I wanted to keep in the app. And one of those things, it's really mundane. If you go to Keep right now on your phone, you can take a note, and when you take a short note, it's got big fonts. When you take a long note, it's got a tiny font. This is a really tiny feature. Maybe it would have landed anyway, but I remember being so frustrated they didn't understand what I was talking about that I went and prototyped that feature, and they made it in, right? And that was my little leadership. I was a junior dev at the time, but by showing them what I meant, they actually got it, and it stuck around. So at Google, I did so many different things. I worked on a thing called Google Wave. Historically, people might remember that. I worked on Google Maps. I worked on Chrome. I worked on some backend infrastructure stuff. I worked on what became Google Cloud in terms of App Engine and things like that. I'm at the point in my career, I think, where I want to share this knowledge with people and have a discussion. For me, part of my experience comes from, I did a lot of things at Google and at startup life where having the right amount of leadership really propelled my career and the product I worked on forward. And I think sharing that with people is something I'm really excited about because I see it not happen enough. Being a successful follower and often finishing that last 10% of someone's work or really riffing on it and making it the best it can be through leadership is a hugely important thing to help grow products, make them better, and to advance your own career. The other reason I'm started to do this is because I think I've seen a lot of, I don't want to call it fake leadership. It's a bit of a horrible word these days, but I've seen cases where people haven't pushed the envelope as much as I think they should. Leadership is not just saying, yes, I'm happy with the status quo. I mean, sometimes it is, right? Like if things are working peachy, that's wonderful. But I think you should find yourself in a position where you should be asking questions about why are we doing things a certain way? Can I make it better? Can I make the team faster? And not being boxed in. Polaris is really pitched to people who don't specifically want to be founders. So I'm very happy if you wanted to be a founder eventually in your career, but the course is really for leadership in an existing environment. And I think this really suits engineers who have worked for a couple of years, not 10 or 20 years, but not necessarily a new grad either. The goal really is to help bootstrap that kind of early to mid-stage engineer into how to be more effective via leadership. Whether you stay at a big company, whether you're at a small company, whether you want to join a startup as a CTO and really take someone's idea and run with it and make it better in a way that they didn't know was possible through your leadership.